Continue the conversation. Judge Andrew Napolitano, one-time New Jersey Superior Court judge and friend of Mr. Trump. Gosh, you've known him for quite some time, over 30 years. How historic is this?
Well, it's profoundly historic, Adrienne. One way to look at it is this is a nation of laws and not of men. And if there's evidence of crime about a particular person, then that person should be indicted and prosecuted no matter who they are. The other way to look at it is this is the best known person in the world, and until 2 years ago, the most powerful person in the world. And it's almost inconceivable, as you heard from his supporters, that he would be charged with a crime that is being perceived as a very technical crime. But honestly, I want to see the indictment. Our colleagues at CNN last night reported that the indictment has 30 counts in it. That's 30 different charges. Now, unless they're going to make each time he wrote a check to Michael Cohen a different charge, I have a feeling there might be other allegations different from the ones connected to Stormy Daniels in that indictment. And of course, before analyzing it, those of us that do this for a living want to be able to read it.
Is that the kind of evidence that would be so clear cut? Because as we've heard time and time again, DA Alvin Bragg having the gall to put this forth as a case indicting a president for the first time in history, it would need to be at the level where this is open and shut to some degree. Is that enough to create this trail of checks being written, and that would in turn become a felony of falsifying business records?
So if he had written personal checks out of his personal funds to reimburse Michael Cohen for the money Michael Cohen paid to Stormy Daniels' lawyer, and if he recorded those checks as campaign contributions, no crime, perfectly lawful. The candidate can donate all of the candidate's own money that the candidate wants to his own campaign. The problem comes when and if, and according to Michael Cohen, this is the case, he used corporate funds to reimburse Cohen for a campaign debt. The felony is paying a campaign debt with corporate funds. Adrienne, there are people sitting in federal prisons today because they did that. So one way to look at this is Alvin Bragg is doing the right thing by enforcing the law no matter who the defendant is. Another way to look at it is, well, this is a federal statute about you cannot use corporate funds for a campaign. And the feds decided they didn't believe Michael Cohen. The feds decided not to prosecute him, Trump. So now you have a state prosecutor attempting to enforce a federal statute in state court. That's novel. That hasn't been done before. But you're right. We don't know what Alvin Bragg knows. It better be proof beyond a reasonable doubt, or it'll be the end of Mr. Bragg's political career. In New York City, the district attorney, like the judges, are popularly elected by their voters.
One really quick question. Do you think that being indicted, that would stop him from running for president of the United States?
No, it can't. There's only two requirements for running for president under the Constitution. A natural-born citizen who's 35 years of age or older. Donald Trump meets both of those requirements. The states, by their legislatures or their judicial systems, are not permitted to add to those requirements. Adrienne, he could run for president from a jail cell. As absurd as that sounds, it would be perfectly lawful.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.